Alright, well, here we are. Here we are. And thanks for coming back. If you're one of my regulars, I appreciate you. If you're one of my international followers, thank you. Guten Tag. Also, I just want to say, if anybody comes and sees this stuff, that's cool. It was kind of an odd request for somebody to want to send me something for my dog. I'm not really set up to get gifts. You know, I appreciate the thought. I mean, if y'all feel like you need to send me something, I appreciate that. But give it to somebody else. I'm not set up to receive gifts. I'm not a big enough channel to do that. If that becomes a thing, I'll get a post office box and go that route. But right now, I appreciate the sentiment behind it. And I appreciate that. But on to the other things. Here in front of you, you see my newest project. Yeah, this is a Walmart purchase, and it's you know, and it was under $300 with shipping and tax and everything. It got pretty here pretty quick. It came from California. I'm sure it came from somewhere else before that, like China. The workmanship on it's okay. I mean, I can't really complain too much of it. I haven't really put any hard testing or anything, but for a visual, the welds are okay. I'd rather have seen a socket and tube setup on here, but that would have been quite a bit more money, I'm sure. The paint job was scuffed, you know, and the chain guard doesn't fit. And I stopped at this point for the build. I haven't put on. I've got a whole slew of stuff behind me here that needs to go on here. It's got fenders and, you know, the basket of equipment. So I'm actually at a point where, because it makes more sense to stop right here. We've got it all together. The tires are aired up. I don't have the pedals installed. The pedals for this thing they're cheap. This is, you know, fairly light duty. The thing is, I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go to make an EV out of this. I am too old to be pedaling my butt around on a single speed sand cruiser. That ain't going to happen. And since I'm not driving anymore, and I have to sell my vehicle just because it doesn't make any sense to hold on to a vehicle that you're throwing money at it, taxes and insurance and tags and things. So it's up for sale. I'm hoping to recoup some money into this project, which I'm going to turn this into an EV. Now there's several ways to go with this EV project. You get this kit, you can do front wheel drive, and that's cool. That's around $300. $300, right? $300. That setup would be $300, and then you still got the battery, and battery charger, and that's going to cost you about pretty much the same thing if you want a decent lithium battery setup. But that was then, you know, so yeah, you're running up at around $1,200, and I'm not really experienced in all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to figure it out. And so I have to do it step at a time. Step one is getting the machine. And then they try to figure it out. There's the front one, which is a kit you can get pretty much online anywhere. Walmart, Amazon, or where else. You can go crazy with the electronics with these things. But I'm on a budget. You know, I'm retired, disabled, living off of my Social Security. So, you know, yeah, this is a budget project. And that's what it's going to be. It's done on the cheap. Not trying to be cheap as in bad, cheap as in trying to save some money. So anyway, that's what I'm doing with that. So yeah, that's the steps. We'll build. The next step is getting the drive part, you know, and getting that bought, and then we'll get the battery on it and go from there. So it's going to take a bit. I'll try to do all the steps. Walk through the steps and my decisions on which drive I want. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, the hub drive was the easiest. There's a mid-drive system of all kinds, and they can get pretty pricey, and they have different jobs. And then there's some really old-school electronics that you can put on these. but you have to figure out how you can chain them in or hook them in. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can go with this. Inexpensive would go with some brush motors, 35 watts, things like that. You could go that route and use lead iron or lead, you can go some really low-tech batteries. You won't like it. I don't think it'll last very long, so I just assume go ahead and go for the bigger punch. So the easiest, I think, to do would be a front end. I can go that route. Bike overall was okay. Because of the directions, a little bit to figure out. Since I built bikes since I was a little shrimp guy, it was nothing to put it together once, get the general idea what they're trying to get across. The back end of it's pretty cool. You'll get a chance to see how all that looks, but it's got reminds me of a fence post driver that I had my hands as a teenager growing up driving fence posts in the field for my granddad and cattle farm. And it kind of looks like a fence, but it's kind of cool. I've never seen the back end of the three-wheeler before. The front section's just a big beachcomber, step through. It's got a big girthy front section here. It's got a curve on it and it's girthy, and it's got a 6 post here, and that connection gives a nice cross through. This part here looks pretty much standard bicycle of any kind. These look a little beefier for versus like a Schwinn, something with the skinny tire bikes, but it's not as beefy as a bike, mountain bike might have been. I don't know, but it looks fine. The welds are all pretty decent as far as that goes. The nice thing is out of the sky at this point, I've got hardware points all over this thing. Back here where the back end of the bike is, there's already bolts installed here. These are designed to hold the basket system in, but that just leaves me a place to hook a battery box and then a basket system above that. And there's all possibilities, mid-drive, rear drive, front drive, built from all that. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to try to keep this up. I hope I can remember to keep the mic charged up and everything working properly on the camera side. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Come back and see what we're doing. I gotta turn the camera off, so it's probably